Donald Trump continues to reach new lows, whether through his plummeting approval ratings or the growing list of scandals surrounding his presidency. Each controversy seems more shocking than the last, and the latest leak from the White House only adds to the embarrassment. A newly revealed phone call has exposed another blatant lie from Trump, highlighting his ongoing pattern of deception and failure. This time, the scandal centers around his tariff policies, a key issue he's repeatedly misrepresented to the public. The leaked call offers a clear look at how far Trump is willing to go to mislead Americans about the impact and success of his decisions. As this story unfolds, it paints a troubling picture of a presidency in disarray, built on spin and falsehoods. Before we dive deeper into the details of this unfolding disaster and play a clip from Rachel Maddow that breaks down exactly what's going on, don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps support the channel. Now let's take a closer look at Trump's latest lie, how it was exposed, what it means for his administration, and why this could be one of the most damaging revelations yet.
So yeah, what was that? What was the headline in the Post tonight again? Are things falling apart for Trump? Yep. Yep. On every front. And I mean the top line takeaways in terms of how the country feels about him, it's just brutal. I mean, in that Pew poll, his overall approval-disapproval number is -19. He is 19 points underwater while he is still in his first 100 days in office. He is 19 points underwater in terms of overall approval versus disapproval. That's crazy. This is the headline Pew put on its article presenting the results of its poll, which makes it seem like even they were a little shocked. Quote, Trump's job rating drops. Key policies draw majority disapproval as he nears 100 days. Outlets like CNBC are pulling results from that poll to show not just how bad things are for Trump right now as he approaches 100 days, but also how quickly he is dropping over time. Quote, Americans' confidence in President Donald Trump's ability to manage the U.S. economy has plummeted since he has regained the White House. According to a new Reuters Ipsos survey, just 37% of Americans approve of Trump's handling of the economy. That's a rating lower than at any point during his first term in office. A new Pew Research Center survey also found that less than half of U.S. adults, 45%, have confidence in Trump's ability to make good decisions about the economy. That represents a 14-point drop from the same poll in November of last year. And again, that's whether people have confidence in Trump's ability to make good decisions about the economy. He's well below 50%. He's at 45%, but that's a 14-point drop just from November. CNBC, quote, those polls follow a CNBC All-America Economic Survey released earlier this week, which also registered Trump's lowest economic approval ratings of his entire White House career. Ta-da! He is tanking. He is tanking on the stuff he wants to be known for and on everything else. And he is tanking in general, and he is tanking in the specific.
Donald Trump is now viewed more negatively than ever by the American public when it comes to the economy. And immigration isn't far behind. Immigration, once his signature campaign issue, has become another area where he's underwater in the polls. This sharp decline is why I've been urging elected Democrats to take a bold stand, not just politically, but morally. They should be speaking out for people like Abrago Garcia and countless others whose rights have been violated, whose due process was ignored, and who were forcibly and illegally deported to countries like El Salvador. Standing up for these individuals isn't just the right thing to do, it's also smart politics. The same goes for calling out Trump's disastrous tariffs. These policies are not only unpopular, they're backfiring, and Trump knows it. That's why he's lying about them, and now he's been caught. His economic narrative is falling apart under scrutiny, and this presents a major opportunity for his opponents to expose the truth. But before we dig deeper, let's hear directly from Trump himself in this clip that lays out the full scope of the scandal and gives context to the damage he's done, both economically and morally.
Spoke to him numerous times. So we're leaving and going to Rome, where we'll be attending the funeral of Pope Francis. Some of you are going to go. Anybody going? And it's going to be very interesting. We're going to meet with a lot of the foreign leaders they want to meet. Trade deals are going very well. I think Russia and Ukraine, I think they're coming along, we hope. Very fragile. And Iran, I think, is going very well. We'll see what happens. We're working on plenty of things that shouldn't be worked on because none of this stuff should have happened. This should have been taken place by Biden. It should have been fixed by Biden, but he couldn't do it, nor could he come close to doing so.
In a desperate attempt to save face publicly, Donald Trump has been claiming that he's in constant communication with Chinese officials, including President Xi Jinping, about striking a new trade deal. However, this simply isn't true. There's no ongoing dialogue, no regular calls, and no negotiations happening between the US and China. Trump was recently caught in this lie during an interview with Time magazine, which the Chinese government quickly responded to, publicly denying his claims and leaving Trump humiliated on the world stage. During the interview, Trump insisted that Xi Jinping had called him and that talks were progressing. Yet when pressed, he refused to specify when this supposed call occurred, especially after the latest tariffs were imposed. Outside the White House later that week, Trump doubled down, saying he had spoken with Xi numerous times, but again, offered no evidence. Meanwhile, Chinese officials made it clear that no economic or trade negotiations were happening. At a press conference, China's foreign ministry stated plainly that no talks had taken place and warned the US not to mislead the public. The truth is, Trump's trade war has spooked the markets. The S&P 500 has dropped 10% since he took office, and signs of a major economic slowdown are everywhere. His administration's chaotic approach to tariffs has hurt farmers, businesses, and consumers. Trump, knowing how damaging this looks, isn't adjusting his policies. He's simply lying to cover it up. Instead of fixing his disastrous trade strategy, he's trying to project false optimism to calm jittery investors and voters heading into the next election cycle. The lies aren't just limited to trade. Trump's failures on immigration are also catching up to him. His signature issue, the border and immigration policy, is a political disaster. Families have been separated, due process rights violated, and people like Abrago Garcia have been illegally deported to dangerous countries without any recourse. Trump's immigration policies have sparked international outrage and domestic criticism, yet he and his allies continue to spin them as successes. Conservative media is doing everything it can to prop up these falsehoods, echoing Trump's lies about both economic and immigration wins that don't exist, but the cracks are showing. Even voices within mainstream political discussions, like Jessica Tarlov, are beginning to push back forcefully against the administration's endless distortions. In an upcoming clip, she directly calls out the false narratives being pushed by Trump's defenders, offering a clear and honest critique of the administration's failures. At the end of the day, Donald Trump's strategy remains the same. When faced with failure, deny, distract, and deceive. But with the economy faltering and public trust eroding, his old tricks are losing their power. The American people and the world are seeing through the lies.